Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
So I mentioned this app the other day, and I know millions of you have already heard about it. Draw Something. There's a free version, or there's a version that you can pay $1 for to remove any kind of advertising. And I did. It was $1. It wasn't that much. And in playing it, I've been having so much fun. I decided that a lot of the people I've been playing with, my friends, suck! You have no idea how much they suck at doing this. But instead of screaming at them like I used to do when I played Pictionary as a kid, I decided to put together a tip list. So if you play or want to play Draw Something, take a look at my tips list on LockerGnome.com. There, see, look, my mom that I was just playing right, I was playing against her. Not really against her, because here's the thing with Draw Something. These aren't opponents. You only win if they win. So you need to do your best at not just guessing, but specifically drawing. So some of the tips that I had recommended, and here's Mom. She's drawing something here. One of the tips, that looks like a snowman. Snowman. Bam! Look at that. She didn't even have to finish her drawing. See, look, she used her colors, and I recommend using colors. She used an arrow, and I recommend using an arrow. And I also recommend watch your line thickness. More than anything, when you're playing this, use your lines wisely. You don't just go with the thickest option that's available. You have to think in really the simplest terms. So I've got 3 words here: beak, chef, and homework. I could probably do homework, but I would probably break it down into 2 words: home plus work. So as long as I could figure out a pictogram for work, then I could probably... Oh, I didn't want to do homework. I was actually going to go with the second option because it would have been a bit easier for me to draw. So now I have to do my best to set the iPad down and continue with the tips list, because there's no way I could draw homework at the detailed level that I need to draw it for my mom to guess it, because in order for me to gain coins, she needs to be able to guess what I am presenting to her. So some of the tips that I put there: don't be greedy. I should have chosen the 2-coin word there, because there's... How am I going to pictogram work? I can do home easily. And see, I would do, again, home plus, and then figuring out a pictogram for work. So I may draw someone behind a desk with a pen and a computer or something like that. It would look like work. And then maybe they've got a furrowed brow because they're working. That's a tip that I listed in there, breaking down the words into simple pictograms. Remember who you're drawing for. So if I'm drawing something for my mom, it's going to be different than if I'm drawing something for, let's say, Diana, because I know Mom has a different knowledge set. So if a word came up that let's say, something that Diana would know, my mom wouldn't know. If I drew, let's say, the Android icon, Diana might know it because she's seen it before. Mom would have no idea. So I wouldn't want to draw the same thing for a different person. Keep that in mind when you're drawing for somebody. Don't be vague. This is one of the reasons I've quit a lot of my games with friends, is because when they were drawing, they were having fun, but they were too vague. I mean, I couldn't even begin to guess. Even if I could eliminate letters with a bomb, it's not that their drawing sucks. My drawing really sucks. It's just that I'm detailed, and I do my best to point out, hey, this is the object you need to guess. This is the word I'm talking about. But the more vague you are with a drawing, like square. No, it's cheese. But you just drew a square that looks nothing like cheese, and it's black. At least if you're going to make cheese, make it a square that's orange and fill it in. Or, like, put little holes in it so it looks like Swiss cheese. You know, there are ways that you can be specific and still not have to worry about being an artist. One of my other recommendations, even though it's cross-platform, I can play it on an iPhone, I can play it on an iPad. I prefer playing it on the iPad because the bigger screen you have in front of you, the easier it is to move your finger around or use a stylus if you need to get very, very detailed with something, or if you want to get detailed with something. Use your colors. That's the thing, man. Don't just stick to black and white. Use those colors at your disposal. You don't even have to buy more with virtual coins or real money if you don't want to, but just use them. Even if you only use, my biggest pet peeve is when people just draw a general object and they're talking about a part of the object. Draw an arrow, a simple arrow. Make a red arrow pointing to exactly what it is that the word happens to be. And that's going to bring me closer to understanding what you've done, what I need to guess, because you're only going to get coins if I get coins. It's okay to be sloppy. Don't worry about being perfect, okay? Even the sloppiest drawings, they're not perfect, but I get it, okay? I understand. As long as it's not... Scribbles. There's nothing here. That's not anything. You have to be able, if you don't know what it looks like after you've drawn it, do it again. There's a little trash can icon in the lower, I guess lower portion. You've got there's your ability to set the line thickness, and you can see which color you're using. Your eraser, which I use frequently enough, and then the trash. I'm not going to trash. I can trash the drawing. Now, if I trash the drawing, what will happen is the sheet will fold over instead of me having to erase everything. So it's not like you're trashing your turn. I do have a handful of other colors that I ended up purchasing with virtual coins as well. Just some things that you've got to consider if you're going to be playing Draw Something. And here's the thing. I know a lot of you are. I know. And even if you don't want to admit it, when you start playing this game, you get sucked in. You want to play more because it's kind of fun. It's fun to draw and doodle, and it's fun to guess. But it's not fun if the person you're playing against not just can't draw, just can't play the game very well. And you don't have to draw well to play the game well. You just have to be able to draw the word in such a way that the other person knows exactly what you're drawing. That's all you got to worry about. Don't worry about being perfect. Don't worry about being... I mean, I don't think they're saving any of these locally. I don't think you can get back to any of the drawings that you've done, at least at this point in time. And not to say that I ever would want to go back to any of the drawings I've ever done. It's just kind of like just quick scribble and send something off. It's fun. And if you want a good starter tips list, take a look at the Locker Room article if these tips didn't help at all. And more than anything, I would recommend sending either this video in conjunction with the link or just that link on lockergnome.com that we've linked in the description to the people who you know that you're playing Draw Something with, because you need them to be better players. And if I'm ever going to play against you, I need you to be a better player. See you on the playing field.